We are here with Bonnie Martlin, and as you know, Bonnie is a retired teacher. She has taught for 32 years. She's taught elementary school, middle school, and high school, the visual arts specifically. Today we're going to learn about the principles of design. Bonnie has a wonderful art project for all of you. She is going to be focusing on the third grade standards, the visual arts standards, and it looks to me from behind us, we're going to learn about Charlotte's Web. Probably something all third graders are very familiar with. So Bonnie, thank you for being here. I'm going to let you take it away now.
Thank you. Okay. Welcome. We're going to do a project today based on Charlotte's Web. Hopefully you've all read that story. And we're going to do a chalk drawing, and we're going to base the drawing on the principles of design. And the principles of design, you might remember, are balance, movement, emphasis, rhythm, contrast, pattern, and unity. Now, when we make our drawing, our chalk drawing, we might not use all of those principles of design, but we'll use a lot of them. And we'll talk about it again when the project's done, and you'll see that you've used them. Okay, when we work on our drawing, we're going to start with white chalk on a dark color construction paper. And we're going to be using chalk and pastels to create our picture. Now in Charlotte's Web, there's a number of animals. There's Wilbur the pig, there's Charlotte the spider, there's Lamb, there's the goose and the gander, there's Templeton the barn rat, and there's chicks and other little barnyard animals. And also we have props in the story. We have the barn and a silo, we have fences at the farm, and we have hay and maybe some eggs and things that would be laying around the barnyard. So you may put all of those in your picture. But the main thing we want to do is create some animals. And you can create your animals any way you want. You may have learned cartoon animals or realistic animals, but you can put in your animals as you like. Now remember that in artwork, when things go back in the distance, they appear smaller. So a chicken may seem pretty big up front, and a barn may seem small in the back, even though we know the barn is bigger than the chicken. But we're going to start with the animals that we know are in Charlotte's Web. So how about Wilbur the pig? So I'm going to start Wilbur by drawing an oval here for his head. And I just started drawing. I didn't even think about where I was going to put Wilbur in this picture. I just decided I'm going to draw him here without any forethought. So we'll see how that works out. And since his little ears are overlapping part of his head, I'm going to erase that right there. And then we're going to give Wilbur a big old pig nose. Use a little pig nose. And 2 eyes. So we'll put Wilbur's body here. It's a big old fat oval because pigs are chubby. And then Wilbur has short little legs, so we'll give him 4 short little legs. And pigs have hoofs. So we'll draw a little hoof on Wilbur's feet. And he has a curly tail, so we'll give him a little curly tail. Okay, so we've got Wilbur there. Okay, now we want to put Wilbur in the farmyard with some other animals, so how about we put the lamb? And we're going to start with the top of the lamb's head. And it's sort of like, I'm going to make like a little cloud for the lamb's head. She has a top knot on her head. And then we'll give her sort of a U shape for her face. And she's got some ears. And if the ears overlap Wilbur, that's fine because she's a little in front of him. Now, Lamb's body is a big oval, but we want her to be fluffy, so I'm going to do this, sort of like a cloud for her body. And then the lamb gets some 4 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And lambs also have hooves, so we'll put that on there. Now, you might notice that the little lamb went off the edge of the paper. That's good because it gives us an avenue to pull us into the picture. And I'm going to draw some other things that go off the page as well. So that's okay if she goes off.
Go.
Okay, it might be easier to watch over my shoulder, so we'll put the camera back there. Now, I want to put a fence in front of Wilbur here. So I'm going to put a fence right here, and this fence is going right off the edge of the page because I want to bring some avenues to bring our eye into the picture. So here's a fence and the fence post. And let's see, maybe we could put something by the fence, in front of the fence. How about we make a chicken? So the chicken's going to sit in front of the fence. I'm just going to erase that just a little bit because we're going to overlap. So here's a chicken, a little chick. Just a chick. And a little beak for the chick and an eye. And maybe the little chick has some eggs here by the fence. So we'll make some eggs for the chicken. And when something overlaps something else, I'm just going to erase a little bit. Okay, we can put something else that will overlap Wilbur. Let's put a ground back here. So Wilbur overlaps the ground. But let's put something else on the fence. So I'm going to erase this little chalk mark right here because I want to put something in front of Wilbur. And we have Templeton the barn rat. So let's say we put Templeton right here. So we'll erase a little bit of Wilbur, and we're going to put a big triangle for his body, little rat here. We'll give him some feet, and we'll give him a head and some ears and a nose, eyes, and maybe a little. And let's see, he needs to also get a tail. So where should we put his tail? We'll bend it this way. So he's got a little tail. So we have some things going back in distance. We have the chicken in front of the fence, and then we have Templeton that overlaps Wilbur here. We can put part of Wilbur's leg back. Okay, now there should be some things in the background. So we have some other things in the picture. We can put a barn, we can put a silo, we can put some more fences. How about we put some more fences behind Wilbur? And the fences back here are going to appear thinner because they're farther away. This fence here is going to be wide. This one's going to be thin. So I'm going to color in the fence white. You can see where the fence is. And we're going to put a fence behind here. And then maybe behind the fence, we'll put the barn. The barn has sides. Let's see, how wide should we make our barn? How about that? Now, the top of the barn, you can make it almost like a boat going upside down. That shape of a barn top. And then there's usually a little window at the top of the barn where they bring the hay up. So we'll put that little window. And a big wide door for the front of the barn. And usually a double door, so we'll do that. Put the white crisscross there for the barn doors. And we'll thicken up the roof just a little bit. Now the barn should have a silo so they can keep the grain in to feed the animals, so we'll put a silo here. And maybe some hills in the back behind the barn. Now there's somebody missing in our story of Wilbur, our story of Charlotte's Web. We have Wilbur, we have the lamb, we have the barn rat, Templeton, we can pick. Okay, but there's one important character missing. It's Charlotte's Web is the story, and we don't have Charlotte. So we're going to make Charlotte. Her web is, or we'll put her. We won't put her whole web, but we'll give her part of a web coming down here, and then Charlotte's going to have a body and a head. So there's Charlotte's body, her head. We'll give her two eyes. Two eyes. And she needs legs. And a spider has 8 legs, so I'm going to make pretty big legs. I'm going to give her legs 3 parts. 1, 2, and her legs can overlap the silo because the silo is behind her. The legs can go off the page because it gives us an avenue into the picture. So she has 4 legs here and 4 legs there, 2 eyes, her spider web going up here, and I think we're pretty much set. So let's start coloring in some of our things. And we have chalk and we have pastels. But since I have the white chalk in my hand, I'm going to color everything that's white. So I'm going to color in this white fence. That's a funny sound, isn't it? Color in the white fence. The fence posts. Goes behind the chicken. And I think our little lamb will make him white. So fluff up some white on him. We'll give him some white wool fur. And white legs. Okay, now we need to blend out a little bit. And by blending, I mean you're going to take your finger and you're going to rub the chalk. Blend it down. Okay, now I'm going to dust this just a little bit. I'm going to shake this and blow on it a little bit, and you have to be careful when you do this so that you don't blow it in anybody's face. Okay, not too bad. Okay, now we can start coloring our animals. So let's make our little chicken yellow, a little chick yellow. The yellow on and then blend it out with your finger. Okay, now I'm going to switch colors. So I'm going to clean my finger and let's make Wilbur, let's see, make him a pink color. Okay, so Wilbur's going to be pink. Now when you blend out your color chalk, your pastels, on your picture, you might lose a little bit of your white lines, but you'll see it enough to know where they were, and we're going to put them back. And we're going to put them back with black, so we'll make sure they stand out really well. Okay, so there's Wilbur. We'll blend him in. Be careful where you blow. You don't want to get anybody's eyes or your own. Okay, and then clean your finger. And let's see, we can make the barn rat gray. And I'm going to give him some pink on his ears and some pink on his fingers. On his toes and his little hands and his tail. So we'll blend out the gray. And then we'll take a pink We'll give him a pink tail, pink in his ears, and a pink nose. Okay. And I'm going to add a little highlight to Wilbur, so there's a little color in there. Blend it in a little bit just to give him some variation in his color there. Okay. The little lamb, let's give him a black face and black ears. And some hooves. His hoofs can be black. And so can Wilbur's hoofs be black. Okay, now I'm going to clean my fingers. Blend this in a little bit. Clean the fingers. And so you don't think he's losing his eyes, we'll just put them right back. We'll give Wilbur his eyes back. And I want to give Wilbur a little gray nose. And we'll give him his little nose spots back. Okay. Now, our barn, let's see. I think our barn should be red. We'll take a red. And you don't have to be real solid with your coloring because the pastels will blend down when you rub it with your finger. And I want to put a little red on the barn doors. Okay, and we should make the hills what color? Purple? Make them off in the distance, we'll make them purple. We can still see where Wilbur's tail is, so we'll get it back. Now you'll see I didn't put the line through here because the silo's in front of the hills. So we'll color the silo, we'll make it a silver or a gray. Okay, now how about greens for the grass? And some brown for the barnyard. Let's see if I can find some brown. Here we go. I just broke my chalk so it's littler to get in where I want it to fit. And you can do that. It's not going to hurt your chalks. And again, I'm not trying to get every little spot because when we blend it out, it'll fill in. And if some of the blue on the paper shows, that's fine. That's why we picked a dark color paper. So if the blue shows, it'll help the picture. We don't want to color the eggs brown. We'll go around that. around the little chicken. Leave that egg. Okay, let's blend that out. I'll blend the green first. I'm going to blend the green into the brown, let it gradually change. Oops, a spot I forgot. Oops. Put her back. I forgot about his little foot, so we'll put it back. And now you can see that our edges are sort of fuzzy. They're not very clear. So the last thing, almost the last thing that we're going to do is go back and outline where our white lines were. We're going to outline with black. And I see I have to do one other. Do him too.
Go ahead.
Okay, I see I forgot to color my eggs here on the ground. So color an egg by the chickens, little chick. And I almost forgot to color Wilbur. So let's go back up here.
Charlotte.
Oh, excuse me, Charlotte. Yes, Wilbur's colored. Okay, so we're going to color Charlotte. So let's see. I think I'll make Charlotte brown. So I'm going to outline her in black. And because I don't want to lean across all this chalk, I'm going to turn my paper upside down. I'm going to color Wilbur. Excuse me. I'm going to color Charlotte like that. And color each of her little sections of her leg. And let's see, what color should I make her face? Maybe she's got eyes. And maybe I'll make her face orange. And I'm going to use this orange also to color the little beak on the chicken. Little chick. And we didn't color this silo top, so we'll get the top of the silo here. Now we have the sky that we haven't colored in yet, so you can either leave it blue because the paper is blue, or you can add a little blue color to it, whichever you like. So for me, I think I'm going to add a little color of blue just to give it a little variation, a little interest. So we'll take a blue here and rub it on. And again, you don't have to cover the whole thing. And if any of the blue from the paper shows, that's fine. Rub it in with my fingers. Okay. Okay, now we need to add details. So I'm going to take my black chalk, and Charlotte needs some eyes, and we'll outline her web. And since I'm reaching over, I'm going to put a paper here to save my hand from rubbing. And we'll outline her legs. Each little section. And I'm going to get the top of this silo so I don't forget it. The top of the barn. Slide this down. Get the silo. Edge of the barn. Our hills. Oops, forgot a leg. Get around the doors. There's 2 doors, so we'll make a split there. And the white wood. And then we have a fence back here. Fence posts. We'll put those back in a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more white back in here because we sort of blended it out a little bit. Okay, and then we'll continue outlining. So let's get Wilbur. His ears. His cheeks. And his little mouth. Okay, the rest of Wilbur here. We have to be careful right here because we have Templeton's ears. We don't want to cover them up. Come back here and get his tail. Put a little pink in his tail. Okay, so we'll get his leg. One over here, but it's hard to see because it's hiding behind Templeton. We'll get it. Now here's Templeton's face. His little nose, 2 eyes. It's got little feet and a tail. Templeton's got a pal over here, so we'll get Mr. Lamb. Get his ears, edge of his face. So you're really going over all your white lines with the black chalk or the black pastel to give it a nice crisp edge. Legs, one here. And I'll come back up here and get this fence. I want to get the grass. Hills. And the fence that Templeton's sitting on. Excuse me. There's. Get all of this. Fence post. And the fence post goes behind our little chick. So get his little beak. And eggs. Okay, finish this off. And I want to put a little texture in here, so I'm going to do this. Make it smaller as we go back here. The little grasses a little bigger as we come up here. I'm going to get a little bit of green. So we got a little grass, or if it's like my house, weeds growing in the farmyard. And there's another thing we need to do. I think our barn has wood on the edge, so I'm going to turn this because it's easier for me. But I think we need to put wood pattern on our barn. And outline the edge of this roof one more time to finish that up. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else we need to do to finish up our picture? We can maybe outline his face a little bit, and maybe we'll give him a stripe. Give Charlotte a little stripe. I'll give her a little claw, a little thing on the end of her. Okay. Okay, and I think we're finished drawing our barnyard with Wilbur and Charlotte and Lamb and Mr. Templeton and the chicks. And if you look into your picture, I think you can see that we've used a lot of the principles of design. We've got balance. You can look at your drawing and see that we don't have everything just on one side. We have things on both sides, so it's visually balanced. It's not exactly the same on each side, so it's asymmetrically balanced. We have movement. Our eye is being taken in on our pathways here where we go off the edge of the paper. Our eyes will come in and follow along the pathways into the picture till we come to what we think is our focal point or point of emphasis. So I'm looking upside down, but I have a feeling if you're looking at the picture, you're going to end up with your eye looking at Wilbur here. So if Wilbur's our focal point, you can see there's different lines and things that have brought us these lines all going down here, and even Charlotte we're looking at Mr. Wilbur here. So Wilbur is the focal point. We have some pattern. We have pattern on here. We've got pattern on the grass. We've got contrast. We've got little animals and big animals. We have dark colors and light colors. We have cool colors and warm colors. So we have contrast in our picture. We have pattern. We have unity. Everything is working together. Nothing is scattered. Things connect one to the other, and our eye follows through very easily. And we have rhythm. Rhythm is a way to make your eye follow into the picture. So this gives us rhythm. It tells us how to follow, and it bounces us. One rhythm is the whites. We can follow the whites up and through the picture. And even comes to Charlotte. Here's white in his eyes looking down. So we'll look at Wilbur. All the whites sort of aim us and bring us to Wilbur. And the black lines also make a rhythm that follows us into and around the picture. We got blacks here, blacks. So blacks hop us and the whites hop us and follows our eye, makes our eye follow the lines along in and through the picture. So I think we have a well-balanced picture. We have rhythm, pattern, unity, contrast, emphasis, movement, and balance. So I think we've used basically all the principles of design. And if we think about it, we've used the elements of art too, because we've got lines, shapes, colors, value, and all the elements and all the principles. So I hope you've enjoyed making this chalk drawing of the barnyard with all the animals from Charlotte's Web. And we'll see you in our next video.
Thank you for inspiring every student to think, to learn, to achieve, and to care through the arts.